All right. So this is 2010 Hyundai Sonata, and what I want you to look at this engine, and I want to make sure that you have the same one because obviously there's different kinds, and to change the starter and specifically the lever, it's different. And so this is the 16 valve 2010. So on this one, I saw videos where they start taking all this apart and trying to get to it. And so on the 2010 Hyundai Sonata GLS, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is take off the intake box and the throttle body. And so once you take that off, you'll have access to the starter, which is down there. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and take this off. There's a clip. I already loosened it. It's one clip here. Then you loosen that clamp. Looks like a 10 millimeter. And then on this side, you just start unhooking these little, what you call it, and this one's hard to see, but you could feel it. And here's one. All right, once you get that off, and this hose off, and that clamp, this should all come out, and you should get a nice view of the throttle body, which is what I'm going to clean today. So I'm going to clean the throttle body, but I'm going to take it out, and you'll see the starter, and then I have old video of actually taking apart the starter. So that should help you. But the main point here is that they have a lot of engines, and not all of them, you don't have to take the intake manifold off, which is a big hassle. All right, so loosen this, took that off, and down there that clamp, and now it should, with one hand, come right out. Okay. All right, here we got a better view. Our filter's not too bad. All right, now this hose, right? It's a 10 millimeter. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. And as you remove this, that'll give you a little bit of room to play with. So I'm going to put this back in so I don't lose it. Okay. Now let's turn on the light. Okay, so there's a throttle body. And you cannot see, let's see, those two right there. That's your starter. And so you could try to get in there, but removing the throttle body it's pretty simple. I do not remove those hoses. Okay, I'm just gonna take these 4 10 millimeter bolts off. I might have to unplug some of this wiring, but once I take that off, I should have a nice view of the starter. All right, so I took all the bolts off with a number 10 and a little extension. Another hint is you want a 10 millimeter, what is this, a mini wrench to really get in there. This has saved my life plenty of times. So it's not the typical size, but I'd get a good brand because this can get in tight places. All right, so now move that over. Might want to tie that down, but again, I'm only going to clean the throttle body. So here, this is the one electrical sock, and I already took it out. But basically, you press both sides of the top and bottom. That unhooks it, and then you should be able to bring your throttle body over. And I'm cleaning. As you can see, it's dirty. I noticed that it was dirty, so I'm going to go ahead and clean it. But now, you see those two? those two, 14 millimeters, and that's to get your starter out. So all you need is a small ratchet, an extension, and then I use this little cheater bar, right? And so to break it, I used that to give me the torque, and that was enough to break those bolts in there. So anyway, and then from underneath you just snake it through, and then unplug it, and then I'll show you how to fix the plastic piece. But that's it. That's the trick. You don't have to take anything else out. So as you can see, that only took, once you know how to do it, a couple minutes. So it's not a big deal, and it's a good thing it's not a big deal, because the starter has a plastic lever in it that keeps breaking, and I think I still have the piece. Yeah, here's the pieces to it. In the video I'm about to show you, I'll show you how to replace this. But this plastic breaks. Very bad design. But other than that, the engine from Hyundai is an awesome design. So anyway, okay, that's it. I'll play the video for how to change the liver, and good luck on your starter change. And definitely need to say this, but I didn't unplug the battery because I'm not touching the starter. If you are going to mess with the starter, definitely unplug the battery. Because if you don't, you will get a big surprise when you try to unplug that starter. So anyway, just thought it was important enough to mention that. Okay, 2010 Hyundai Sonata. The starter's going out, and I think I know what's wrong with the starter, but this is what's going on. It engages sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. See, it didn't engage. You can just hear it a little bit. It's like the battery's dead. Let me try it again. See, it like wants to start, and then it doesn't turn. It like slips. Okay, I started taking the starter apart, but I wanted to show you what's wrong with this one. And so there's a lever that pushes this out. And I'm thinking it's broken because of the way the car sounds. This spins. And I believe, and this is the lever. So let's look inside. I already started taking it apart. You should be pretty loose, ready to go. And of course, I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. So you don't want to take this off. I heard that's a hassle putting it back in. And you want to try to take it off as much as possible, one big part. And so you see this is already trying to come out. So I want to leave that. Is in. I don't want to open that up or mess with it that inside. And as you can see, here's the piece that's broken. And you can see that that piece is the one that pushes this out, the lever. Okay, and if I look inside here, you can see that that's where it broke. So this piece, the rest of it, I guess, is actually in there. And so this is how it should look. And this is what we have. So let's continue taking this apart. Look, it looks like an Allen wrench right here. And so I already loosened it, but I think I'm gonna need to, well, maybe I can get away with one hand. So let's go ahead and, no, take that off. Oh, and there it goes. Okay, so you have two little pieces here, and then this is the piece that is actually broken. So if you put these pieces together, you should get that piece. So reverse way of getting it in, and definitely gonna need two hands with this though. So we'll hook it up in there. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna need two hands. So hook it up in there, put this little piece back, put it back here. So let me see if I can put this together, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, so I try to put this in, and this is in the way. So what we have to do is put this in first, and then put this guy in so that it grabs at the bottom of here. So this should grab down here. So we got to put it in. Let's see if you can see it. We got to slide this one in first. While this is out, we hook it, and that'll be where we want it. So got to take this back out, and it's gonna first. I put this together. It shouldn't have been this. It should be this one first. So let's see if I can. Okay, so before I put that back in, what I want to do is I want to grease this up a little bit so that this has a nice slide to it. So, and then I'll do this side too, because that's metal on metal. So anyway, so I got some high temperature grease, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on there. Just want to let you know that put a little bit on here so that can slide better. So just little things like that make it last longer. All right, this is definitely difficult to do with one hand, but since I want to show you guys, so I hooked it up there, remember? And then I put it here, and then you gotta get it in there. And this has to go into that groove. And sorry for the camera movement. And this has to fit in those grooves. And I think if I turn it a little bit here, well, I'm gonna definitely, well, yeah, I'm gonna need two hands. There we go. Whoa, I got it. Okay, so it's snapped in. Now, as you can see, this part is in, and I'm gonna lift up here. See, I lifted it up, and you can see that that piece is down there. So I hope that gives you a sense of, and then when this pushes down, let's see, oh, that's pushing up. There. So, oh, when it pulls up, this comes out. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know how that went in, because that is a little tricky. So you got to get that in at the same time, then come back with everything else and tighten it up. So spent a little bit more time than I wanted to, and with one hand, but it's, well, you know, saving you some time.